A detailed analysis of Ephesians 2:3, focusing on the behavior of those outside of Christ and the transition to a new nature through union with Him. The verse states that we once conducted ourselves in the lust of our flesh, fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind, and were by nature the children of wrath.
Conduct and behavior. The term conducted in this verse refers specifically to a way of living or behavior. It describes a life driven by the lusts and desires of both the physical body and the mind.
Children of wrath. Before experiencing the life of Christ, individuals are described as being by nature children of wrath, aligning them with a state of being that is separate from God's grace.
The sources emphasize that the flesh is frequently wrongly interpreted. A comprehensive understanding of its nature involves several key concepts.
The persistence of the flesh. According to the sources, there will never be a time when a believer does away with the flesh while living on earth. Drawing on Galatians 2:20, the sources point out that even though Paul was crucified with Christ, he acknowledged that he still lived in the flesh, though he did so by faith.
The old man versus the flesh. In the context of Romans 6:6, the sources explained that the high I, or the old man, was what was crucified with Christ. This old man is identified as the old self, or old nature. While the believer still resides in a physical body, the flesh, the old nature that was enslaved to sin has been dealt with through crucifixion.
The realm of sin and death. In its unregenerate state, the nature of the flesh is to be under the control of the law of sin and death. The transition out of this state occurs through union with Christ, which the sources define as being baptized into Him.
The sources argue that while the old man was legally crucified at the same time and place as Jesus, this truth must be made experiential through knowledge.
Crucified with versus baptized into. The sources distinguish between being crucified with Christ, a simultaneous historical event, and being baptized into Christ, signifying union and oneness. This union allows the believer to leave the realm of death and the realm of sin.
The role of knowledge. A central problem for many believers is a lack of knowledge regarding these spiritual realities. The sources suggest that the legal truth of the flesh being crucified does not become experiential until the believer's understanding is enlightened. Until a person comes to a place of reckoning or knowing, they may still feel oppressed by the old nature or external spiritual forces.
Dominion. Being baptized into Christ means being free from Pharaoh's sin's control. The sources clarify that this does not mean sin will stop chasing the believer, but rather that the believer now has the dominion to ensure sin is drowned in that Red Sea whenever it arises.